Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be presenting another winter thoughts video because there's been so many updates with the sea surface temperatures that I feel like we already need to update this. For today's comment of the day, I want you guys to make some bold predictions about this upcoming winter, and I'm actually going to keep those files handy so that once we have reached the winter and it's actually passed, I want to see if some of those actually work out, but I'll also be picking one of those for tomorrow's video as well. Now, before I get into this video, I know a lot of you didn't notice, but I uploaded my first official winter forecast. That's going to be on the top right corner of your screen right now, where you can click that and check it out right now. We just uploaded that a few days ago. That's my first winter forecast for this year, so go ahead and check it out. Let's get into this video though. And first things first, we're taking a look at those sea surface temperature anomalies. We'll take a look at the 7-day change in just a moment. Firstly, let's take a look at that ENSO region, which is where our La Nina or El Nino develops. And the last update we had, which is about a week ago, I made that one. We had a lot of warming and a lot of warm waters in this area. It has significantly cooled since that last update. So that's the biggest reason, actually, I need to update this. There's another big thing I'm going to talk about in a minute as well, but this one especially is just enough to make it worth updating here. And as you can see, especially close to Central America and South America there, which is our ENSO region. That's like the very eastern side of the ENSO region, but we've seen especially cooling in that area as well. As we look northward to the PDO, we're still looking at maybe a negative PDO. Those colder waters south of Alaska and then also offshore of Baja, Mexico is a key sign that we have a negative PDO. Also, those very warm red waters well offshore of the west coast of North America there, kind of in the middle of the Pacific, north of Hawaii. That is also another sign of a negative PDO. Look at the Atlantic, though. This is another thing. We've seen a lot of cooling there near the Gulf states and the East Coast. This is huge because this can actually influence those air temperatures around the coasts in the wintertime if we still have below normal sea surface temperatures by then. So the biggest thing is if you imagine a very cold air mass heading over the East Coast, for instance, but if there's very warm waters, those warm waters can kind of make it to where the cold air can't really influence the air temperature that much around the coast because those warm waters are definitely impacting the areas in the coastal regions. But if we have colder waters, what it does is it basically just allows for that colder air mass to take over because the water isn't as different, if that makes sense. So that can have a huge impact on some coastal regions as well. But yeah, overall, the Atlantic is looking quite cold compared to our last update, except for near south of Greenland, which is huge because that's kind of our negative NAO region. And usually these warmer waters can encourage a negative NAO as well, which would also bring some colder colder air to the United States during the winter. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at the 7-day change in just a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look at our 7-day change, and look at how much things have cooled there offshore of South America there. We have seen significant cooling for these regions. Very interesting stuff, to say the least. It has definitely turned around really quickly. Also, look at how much things have cooled near the Gulf states and the East Coast. That's mostly due to Hurricane and Tropical Storm Elsa. Usually these tropical systems can really cool down the waters that they head over oftentimes, and I think that is the case in this instance. We also see some warming there in the northern Pacific, which could mean we are turning around from a negative PDO, but I really think we're going to stick with that negative PDO phase. Now, here is our Nino 3.4 index chart, and this is actually how we measure an El Nino or La Nina. And as you can see, things have cooled significantly. We were looking at about, I would say, positive 0.35 degrees there at a certain point there in late June, but we've kind of decreased to even below positive 0.2 there. We've gone below that line. So things have gone a lot closer to a neutral ENSO, and they're actually heading more towards the La Nina side of things now, which is what was originally expected. So it was weird that we were ever heading towards the El Nino, and now things have kind of turned around. I did mention that with that increase, I was expecting a very slim chance at potentially an El Nino winter, but it seems like things have definitely turned around since that statement. Here's the North Atlantic anomalies, and as you can see, this was sharply increasing up until late June, just like the ENSO region, but then we can see it has started to cool, and it's even gone below the neutral line there as we're heading towards July 12th. So here is our ENSO chart here. according to all of these different models. And as you can see, they do, for a majority of them, expect this one to stay below that neutral line in this instance. So the highest probability here is either a neutral ENSO or a La Nina. We see maybe 2 models taking this to an El Nino, whereas there's many more than 2 models being shown here, so that isn't really a good sample size at all. Now, this is another type of chart. Basically, it shows us the probability of either La Nina, neutral ENSO, or El Nino ENSO. So it's showing us the different probabilities. The blue line, you can see the percentages on the left, by the way. But the blue is obviously La Nina, red is El Nino, and then gray is neutral ENSO. So as you can see, if we look towards the bottom, we're looking for DJF, which you can see there kind of towards the bottom right. And as you can see, we have about, according to this, about a 65% chance of a La Nina, about a 30% chance there of a neutral ENSO, and then under 5% chance there of an El Nino, according to the Climate Prediction Center here. And this is also according to climatology, things of that nature, but mostly due to the models and then also what the Climate Prediction Center thinks is going to happen here. So I think it's an overwhelming probability that we have a weak La Nina, and if it's not that, likely a neutral ENSO, but there is that slim chance of an El Nino as well. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the month-by-month forecast according to our CFS model, and let me tell you, this is looking like a much colder winter according to this model. We're going to take a look at that in a moment, and then what the Climate Prediction Center's most recent forecast looks like as well. Now here's December, and first things first, this is already looking like a very cold outlook according to this model. We have warm in the west, cold there in the central and eastern United States. This looks just like my forecast, actually, that I just released. Again, you can check that out. I uploaded it just a couple of days ago. January is a little bit of a winter thaw here. As you can see, the cold kind of pulls back, and we see a little bit of warmth enter the eastern United States, but still a majority of it is located there in the west. And then February comes in with a bang, even colder than December there. Some brutal cold up there for the north central United States, but that creeps all the way into the southeast and northeast, the mid-Atlantic areas like that. But still, the west is where that ridge lies. And December through February, this is the look. Mostly cold in the central and eastern United States, and then mostly warm there in the west, and especially the southwest there. As far as precipitation is concerned, here's December. As you can see, the northwest and then also the eastern United States, a majority of the eastern United States have those more above average precipitation amounts, and then the southwest has the below average precipitation. January is very similar, except the entire west just gets a ton of precipitation, and then in February it all dries up, and we see mostly the east dealing with the higher precipitation again. Here's the December through January for that, and as you can see, mostly the northwest, and then the eastern United States is dealing with the above average precipitation. Take all of that with a grain of salt, because this is a model that is fluctuating a lot in this range, and we still have many months to go. So take it with a grain of salt. Mostly I just show you guys that because a lot of people are always wondering and want to see the recent model forecast for the winter. So take it with a grain of salt. The likelihood of it being anywhere near perfect is very slim. There could be some similarities once we reach the winter. It will likely be right about some things and wrong about some things, but it's hard to differentiate what it's going to be right about or what it's going to be wrong about. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Here's the 3-month temperature outlook from NOAA, and it has looked like this for many updates. I think they're going to update it and have more of a ridge in the west eventually once we get our most up-to-date update from them. But for now, this is the look. More of like that trough in the central United States and then a ridge in the east. Again, I think that's going to move west. They also have drier than normal conditions for the southern United States and then kind of equal chances everywhere else. So we will await more updates from them. For our confidence tab today, we're at a 2 out of 6. Obviously, we're at July 12th, and I want to wait a little bit longer before we feel more confident. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what month or what time frame do you think the hurricane season will be the most active? And I wanted to pick something other than just September, because a lot of people just said September, which is the obvious one usually. Linda Cook said, I think end of August or early September. So that's a little bit different. I liked that one, keeping it interesting there, and we will see if you're right, but I think that guess is as good as any, really. For today's Patron Highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Platinum patrons, John Mabenik, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Larry LePan, and Donna Carnes, alongside our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Cotalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Mark J., Luke Flago, Gary's, John Calisi, Dwight Phelan, and Steven Crunenthal. If you would like to be a part of this exciting Patron community today, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I'd also like to thank our channel members Hairfrums1 and Catbite as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to destroy the like button, leave a comment down below, and also be sure to subscribe if you like weather related content. I will see you guys in the next video.